Alright, so guys, we have news. We have news from the Bridgerton verse, from the Bridgerton world. We have release dates. Guys, this is going to be a nice yap session where we're just going to chat about all things Bridgerton Season 4 now that we officially have our dates. So, if you don't already know, you must be living under a rock or you've never been to this channel before, which if you haven't been to this channel, hi guys, my name is Melody, and on this channel I cover everything romance related, anything with a tint of romance, you best believe it'll be here, or the musical sphere. As you can see, I'm a huge musical theater fan. With that being said, Bridgerton Season 4 has finally announced its release dates, and its release dates are going to be January 29th for part 1 and February, I believe, 26th for part 2. Now, if you don't know this about me already, I'm just gonna let you know right now. I hate the two-parter thing. Like, the two-parter thing is actually one of the worst things that Netflix does. Son of a bitch. Like, either just choose a bucket. Either I want to binge it all or I want it to be weekly. I personally enjoy the weekly aspect of it. You know, after watching The Summer I Turned Pretty this summer, it pretty much was a really great way to really build a community with other people who are watching everything at the same time as you are. Because if you're watching something in a binge-worthy form, right, then everyone can watch it whenever they want, and it ends up being like you can't really talk about certain things because people haven't watched it yet. It becomes like, it's just the timing isn't right. This happened, for example, on my channel with My Life with the Walter Boys. My Life with the Walter Boys was just completely let out in one full 10 episode binge, but I was doing them weekly on my channel, and I felt like it was kind of really affecting the way that I was watching it with the rest of my viewers, because other people were like, oh my god, I can't wait till you see the end. If you do something weekly, you kind of have everyone on the same page with you, and it's really fun to kind of go episode by episode and feeling and having this conversation with someone else who's on the same level as you. So when it comes to the two parts thing, you kind of fall into that whole same thing where like one whole part is just, you know, everyone's watching it in one huge binge, and then you kind of have like this lull, and then you have the second part, everybody's over, and then it's like the end, right? I would prefer if this show just decided to be weekly, or like how it started, which was just complete binge. I personally, I think, do like the weekly. It does bring me back to the whole 2000s when you had to wait every week to watch an episode. With Bridgerton Season 3, that's when we were introduced to the two-part structure. And I really think that it kind of did a disservice to the season, because the first half of the season to me was so strong that the second part almost felt like a full other season. It kind of felt a little bit out of it when the first half was so good. And I felt that if it just kind of continued on, it would have flowed better. But because they just it felt like two distinct seasons, it felt really weird, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Though, granted, I did enjoy Season 3. I don't think it was the best season, because another thing, if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, just so you know, I am a Bridgerton Season 2 stan. Anthony and Kate are forever my favorite couple of Bridgerton. I don't think anyone will ever beat them. I don't know, we'll see with Sophie and Benedict this season. But as of right now, Anthony and Kate have my heart forever. So sorry if you are a Daphne and Simon stan. I am not in that. No, they are nothing to me compared to Anthony and Kate. Anthony and Kate are everything. They are everything. But let's talk about Bridgerton Season 4. So like I said, we're gonna have two parts here. Now, they showed like a little teaser for the season. Now, this teaser wasn't really anything. I want the goods, guys. I want the goods. I want to know, I want the trailer. I want the trailer, I want it all. That's all I care about. I don't care about this teaser. This teaser meant nothing to me. I don't think it's a scene from the actual film at all. I think it is very a la Season 3 with, with Colin and Penelope in front of the mirror. That wasn't actually the scene. I feel like this is just like the very same kind of thing. They're just kind of like teasing the fact that, you know, they're gonna meet at a masquerade ball, you know, the hand touch, always really great. Bridgerton does really well with the whole like, ooh, we're about to touch, not really, you know, because it really brings us in as an audience, right? But I don't think this teaser really said anything. It kind of was just a teaser. That's what it is. I'm waiting for the trailer. That's all I care about. All I care about is the trailer. So I can't wait for that to be dropped already. I feel like it's probably going to be dropped pretty late. in December. Usually Netflix is really, really slow with releasing trailers for their seasons. Usually they kind of like to do like a trailer like pretty close to the premiere date. And January 29th is the first part. So I'm probably expecting a trailer sometime in like early December, followed by probably another trailer in early January. Hopefully, that's what I'm thinking, hoping. I mean, if I get it in November, I will be a much happier camper if I get a trailer in November, but I'm thinking a little bit more December. I don't know, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think we're gonna get something in November or December? I'm thinking December, like I said. I'm actually very intrigued about this season. I don't know how people feel about it so far. I feel like usually, as a content creator, when you're on YouTube and stuff, you kind of get fed things that people are watching or really people are talking about. And Bridgerton is kind of fallen off a little bit, but I don't think it's because like people aren't interested. I think it's because the craze hasn't started, right? The promo hasn't started. Once the promotion starts, once they start going on their promo tour, it's going to be absolutely crazy. People are going to be glued to their screens for months. It's all going to be Bridgerton. Right now, I think people are still on the Summer I Turned Pretty high, which, by the way, if you haven't seen my The Summer I Turned Pretty reactions, I'll put a playlist right over here. You can check that out after this video. I did a reaction to every single one of the episodes this season, but I think people are still kind of on the high of The Summer I Turned Pretty, so I feel that Bridgerton's kind of like people are excited, but it's still kind of in the background. And why is that? Also because they made us wait 2 years, right? It's kind of like they have to like reintroduce themselves every 2 years. Like, hey, just a reminder, we own you. We own you. Shondaland production and Shonda is somewhere in her room being like, bitch, don't forget. Guys, don't forget. I own you, and I will own you and your souls and your TVs from January to March. You best believe it. So I know it. I know that it's gonna have a chokehold on me. I'm really like wanting this season to be really, really good. I want it to be better than season 3 was. And granted, like I said, season 3 was a great season. I didn't hate it. I didn't mind it. Like I really enjoyed it. But season 2 to me was just so superior to it that I feel like it can't match it. Like granted, I mean, episode 4 will live in our minds for absolutely ever. We will never listen to Give Me Everything ever again by Pitbull the same. We will never look at a carriage scene the same after what Bridgerton season 3 brought us with Colin and Penelope. But I'm really looking forward to season 4, and I'm hoping that the second half doesn't fall off. I hope it feels a little bit more cohesive. I hope it's not, rushed, because season 3 really, really faltered from that in the fact that, like, with Penelope being revealed as Lady Whistledown, to Colin finding out, to all of that, like, it happened very, very rushed at the end, and it was kind of just like, okay, the queen was kind of like okay with it, and that was it. Now, I don't know what her relationship with the queen is in this season, right? I'm with Lady Whistledown, like, I don't know, what is she gonna bring to this season? And that kind of brings me into kind of what I'm expecting from the season, what I would really like to see in the future, what I would really like to see in season 4. Now, one of the things I really do want to see is, where is Penelope? How does Penelope live in this world now? Now that she has been unmasked, now that everybody knows that she's Lady Whistledown, how does she move around in this world? What does she cover? What does she talk about? Is she going to be someone who is still very prominent and people are really really, really interested in what she has to say? Or has she taken a step back and people are upset? Like, where's Lady Whistledown? Like, we missed that Lady Whistledown. Are we going to see her and Colin and their baby and how that affects, the way that she writes about things in the Lady Whistledown paper? Like, I don't know, right? Because also at the end of season 3, her voice from Lady Whistledown changed into Penelope Featherington, or now Penelope Bridgerton. So I wonder, like, in this season, is she still writing as Lady Whistledown? Or is she writing as Penelope Bridgerton? I don't know. That's another thing that will be very interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing that storyline kind of play out and how it weaves in with Benedict's storyline and if the Queen as well. Because I think this season is going to be very interesting with with the queen. Because if you think about it, in the first and second season, a lot of her story really revolved around finding Lady Whistledown. Who is this person? Who she was always in a match with, right? But now she already knows who it is. So I don't know how the queen is going to fit in here. What is going to be her antics? What is she going to be like doing, right? I feel like those are things that I'm really curious about to see how they're going to tackle this season. Then of course we've got a lot of supporting characters out of season 3. So I do wonder, not supporting characters, but we did have a lot of storylines, right? We have Eloise and we have Francesca, right? Francesca's now married. And also there was a bit of like a look with another woman, right? There's a lot that went on at the end of the season. Of season 3. So I wonder if that's going to be in this season at all. Are we going to see Francesca with Michaela? I think it's supposed to be Michael in the book, but they changed it to Michaela. Like, is that going to be a forefront in the story at all? Is it just going to be in the back? Is she still going to be in Scotland with Eloise? And God, I'm forgetting the guy she married. I'm forgetting what his actual name is. But anyway, the guy that she married in season 3, whose cousin she's going to fall in love with eventually, right? I wonder if they're going to be prominent this season. Is Eloise going to be back? Are we going to have breadcrumbs to Eloise's storyline? Because it has been announced that Eloise is going to be season 5. I'm pretty sure they announced that it's going to be Eloise. It's going to be season 5. But, I wonder if those are going to be sprinkled in. How is it going to be sprinkled in? Lots to chew on there because there's going to be a lot of storylines there. Before there was a lot of storyline with the Featheringtons, but I think that has now officially been tied up with a bow with the end of season 3 and the end of, Penelope's kind of storyline with her family and now joining the Bridgertons. So I do wonder, what's Portia's role in this? Is Portia going to be a forefront anymore? Or is she completely not a forefront anymore? She was always a big part of the seasons. There was always something with her storyline. So I'm really intrigued for that. And I do really wonder about Eloise, right, this season, because I do think they really have to set up her story pretty well to get us at least a little bit excited for season 5. Now, granted, I feel like they did Benedict wrong the 3 seasons of Bridgerton. I feel like his character has always kind of been like a floater. They kind of set him up a little bit at the end of the season, but it's going to be a very interesting, the way that they kind of go into him now falling in love with this woman, especially because season 3 really kind of, made it seem that I don't want to say Colin by his real name, Luke. They mainly made it seem that Benedict was very kind of closed off to the idea of finding love and being with a woman right now. He was kind of I'm free. I want to date men and women or whoever. I just want to live my life, right? It didn't seem like he was ready to be I want to find love, right? Kind of thing. Yeah, I was Benedict and I was oh my God, I keep calling them by their real names. I keep wanting to say Luke and Yeren, but it's Sophie and Benedict. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. I'm not a book reader. Guys, that's another thing for you guys. If you don't know that about me, I do not read, clearly. I'm really bad at reading. I don't know what it is. I used to love reading as a kid, but I just have never read any of these books. I think I started reading The Duke and I a couple months, a couple years ago. I tried to read it and I just fell off after 3 chapters. I should probably try to reread them for research purposes, right? But which is interesting because here we are. We gotta talk about season 2 again. It was interesting because season 1, when you think about it, they really set up Anthony. They really made Anthony really get to the bottom of the bottom so that by season 2 you understand where he is as a character, right? And what he's looking for. They really set up his character they really set him up in season 1 to be a lead in season 2. And I feel that season 3 did not do that for Benedict. I feel like season 3 could have been more of it felt more like Eloise was growing more into her own and finding out about Penelope and being you know what, I'm gonna go off to Scotland to find more of myself and see the world, right? And then that could easily set her up for season 4, where she has traveled, where she's, seen things to the point that she's open for love. So it's interesting that they were like, you know what, no, we're not going to make Eloise season 4, we're going to make her season 5. So I don't know what we're going to see from her here, but that just brings me back, circling it back to Benedict about it. I feel that he wasn't set up as a lead for this season. So it's going to be interesting seeing him as the lead. And I hope that this season is good. I hope that Benedict's story is told really well. I hope that him and Sophie, aka Luke, and Yirin have this beautiful chemistry that just like leaps off the page, because that is so incredibly important for every single one of our leads. And obviously we haven't seen anything yet, right? So we don't know. And I for the most part, I fully trust Shonda. Like, Shonda knows what she's doing when it comes to these, like, lead characters, and making sure that they have that chemistry to the point that they're going to bring the audience together to love this couple. So I don't believe that it's not going to be good, but it's always, something to be scared of. The chemistry in Bridgerton is incredibly important. If our main characters, our leads, do not have chemistry, it will fall flat. It will not make sense. So I am really intrigued to see, Luke and Yirin, like, just, bright up our screens, make us believe in love again, make us believe in this, like, Bridgerton verse love that is, like, eternal. I am waiting for this, like, these love declarations and this story, and for us to meet this new character. I find it really exciting, in these shows when you do get a new character that's being introduced, because there's, like, and it's always somebody of color. Like, it's always really, like, I like that aspect, right? Season 1 was season 1, right? But then season 2 was great because we had, Simone Ashley come in, and, Kate Sharma, someone from somewhere else, like, coming into this Bridgerton family. Season 3 was interesting because we had already had Penelope and Colin as characters that were finally getting to, like, the meat and bones of their relationship. Freaking Penelope, who was pining over Colin for 2 seasons, and he was such an idiot that he didn't notice that season 3 was finally the culmination of that, which I think was the right call when you think about it. Like, it was time for Colin to wake the fuck up. But I'm interested, season 4, right? We're going to have someone that's like, a maid who's going to fall in love with a higher up person. Like, how is that going to affect society? How is that going to affect the Bridgerton family? The queen and how she views like, I'm really intrigued in that aspect. Like the hierarchy. Oh my God, what's the word?
Wait, what?
Hierarchy. Oh my God, I can't say the word. Oh my God. Anyway, let's just talk about the hierarchy. I think it's hierarchy. Like, seeing that will be new. I mean, that really excites me, because I want to see how that affects, like, the lower part of society. I'm intrigued to see if we're going to see more of that class, because we never, like, we see them, in and out. Some of them have a little bit more to really, showcase. So I'm really intrigued in seeing that world even more, knowing that Sophie is somebody who is a maid in a house, or like, I'm pretty sure she's like it's like a Cinderella story, I think, situation. Like, she's basically like a maid, but like she's got like an evil stepmother and like 2 stepsisters, I think, is kind of like what it is. I think. I don't know. We'll find out on January 29th, I guess. I guess we'll find out on January 29th, or we'll find out whenever, they release a little bit trailer, so that we can, get excited for what is to come. But guys, let me know what you're thinking for this season. They released some stills. Let's look at the stills together real quick. Yeah, so for these pictures, most of the pictures that we've seen are all pictures from the ball. And that's not something that, like, I hate. Like, I don't mind the pictures from the ball, but I would really like to see some pictures of, like, other characters, or maybe some other scenes. Like, I feel like they're only showing us things from the ball, which I guess is, like, the main event, right? The main event is, like, where they meet is at the ball. But I just want to see something different. I think I'm a little bit kind of balled out in a way. I really want to see them just, like, in a different state. Like, I want to see, her and her maid uniform somewhere talking to Benedict, or you know, Benedict talking to another character, or a picture of Anthony or Kate or someone. I feel like a lot of the pictures that they've shown have just been of the ball, and I would like to see something different. And I think a lot of people have kind of said that about the poster as well. The poster is very much that. Again, them at the ball. So, I don't want to hate too much on the whole thing, because I am just excited that we're finally getting Bridgerton season 4. You know, it's been a long time coming. Stop it, Taylor. Are you in my mind? It's been a long time coming, and okay. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift in another video. But anyway, I can't even, I'm saying it out. All of a sudden, I am just transported back to the Eras tour. I am literally transported back to the beginning of that tour. Oh my God. But it has been a long time coming. We've been waiting for 2 years for this season. So, I don't want to bash on anything or make it feel like I don't care or that I'm like being picky about things. But at the end of the day, like, I know that I'm going to be watching Bridgerton no matter what. Like, I know that I will be sat every 2 years that they make me wait. No matter how much I complain about how long it takes to make, no matter how much I complain that it's going to be in 2 parts, like, I'm still going to be sat and ready and watching. And I'm excited for it. I'm extremely excited to be back into this world. I'm just excited that we're finally getting it. It's been way too long. Again, there's no reason why these seasons should take this long to make, but here we are. I mean, I'm not in production, but it seems like costumes obviously just take a really long time to make. Understandably, don't want to put down on any of those people who have those jobs, because I understand that that is a very difficult thing to do, to make these costumes that are absolutely gorgeous on Bridgerton and really, really well done. So I get that that probably takes a really long time. But man, does it suck as an audience member, as an audience viewer, to have to wait 2 years to see Bridgerton and feel that you're going to be like 65 years old by the time freaking it's, what's his name, George? No, what's his name? What's his name? A, B, C, D, E, F, Gregory. Right? By the time we get to Gregory's story, I had to do them A, B, C, D. Like, you know, the fact that we have to, that it's, I feel like I'm going to be like 50 years old by the time we get to Gregory's story is absolutely mind-blowing. Because I don't know if you guys also knew, but what's her name? Shonda Rhimes was on, I think, Good Morning America or some talk show in the morning. And they asked her about Bridgerton and how far it was going to go. And she said, yeah, we are planning on making the 8 seasons for every, we're planning to make a season for every single Bridgerton child. And I'm like, all right, so that's 8 seasons. We're on season 4, and I feel like that show's been already on for like 10 years. Like, literally, by the time we get to Hyacinth and the time we get to Gregory, we're all going to have children of our own. Like, we're like, it's absolutely baffling, like, that it's going to take this long for the end of the show. Baffling information. So if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button. Guys, I also do have a Patreon if you're interested in seeing some other things that I don't post on the channel, or any of my unedited reactions. They are all up on my Patreon. The link will be down in the description. You can join or you cannot join, whatever you want. Any kind of support is always welcome. But guys, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!